this is Chuck Jennels, and I want to welcome you to my channel. And today I'm going to do what I call old school silver melt. And what it's going to amount to is using a MAP gas torch. I've seen guys try to use propane, and propane just doesn't get hot enough. We've got to get to 1762 degrees Fahrenheit to melt silver and do a pour. So what we're going to do, we're going to use this. We're going to use the MAP gas. And there's my borax. And right here, right there is my ceramic dish that I'm going to use to melt. And you can see how shiny it is. In one of my previous videos, I seasoned this, we'll call it crucible, with borax, and that's what this is. And we'll add more borax to it closer to the end of the pour to make all the impurities flow away and to make the silver flow easier. And having the dish done like this, the silver won't stick to the dish. So we'll just use a standard torch here. And I've got a mold. Let's see, you can't see my mold. Alright, let's show you the mold. It's just a cheap little mold here. It's one I got somewhere, I don't know where I got it. But this little, we're going to do that little round button on it. And that's supposed to be an ounce, and we'll measure that out and see for sure. And also, if you've watched any of my pours, I've said about being safe when you do this. And the shop's closed up today because it's I think it's almost 88 degrees outside, and I'm going to create heat here, so I just want to use a respirator. This is a 3M double canister respirator that I've used a lot. And of course, got to have my Castmaster gloves that I just got from them, that I also showed in a previous video. So what we'll do first is I'll get the scale out and we'll weigh out an ounce, or maybe a touch over an ounce, and get things set to go for the heat and the pour. Okay, here's my scale, and I've got the silver on here, and it's, as you can see here, 1.2. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit and see better. That's 1.2 ounces, so we're a little heavy, so I'm going to take some out of this, and then we'll melt the rest. So we want 0.2. This might be interesting. They're liable to go everywhere. Or nowhere. Wow, did I hit it? That looks like 0.2 to me. Yeah, it looks like 0.0. Can't be right, can it? Yeah, that's 1.2, and that's 0. Okay. So theoretically, this is 1 ounce. I've taken that little bit out, and we may try something here and see if I can get a little bit closer. Okay, I brought my other scale in. This is an actual gold and silver scale, and so this is what I need to take out to have an ounce left. So I just didn't feel real good about that. It kept reading 0, and it wasn't supposed to on that other scale. So I think for heavier weights it's good. For this is actually a 0.17 that's needed to be taken out, and that's exactly what this is. So alright, let's get ready to melt. Okay, so let's get started here. I'm going to preheat the dish first, just to get this a little bit liquid. I've got to be able to grab that silver to put in the dish. And so let's do a little bit of that now. Start out little pieces at a time. you should be able to see that starting to puddle right there. Let me turn this around so I can see it from the other side. Yeah, there you go. Put a little bit more in. This is not a good way to do this, by the way, because it just hardened in that little bit of time I was screwing around there with the camera. I haven't done this in quite a few years. I've done it with gold also, but it's been, my goodness, many years since I've done a torch melt. Done a lot of copper and brass, and especially aluminum. I've melted a lot of aluminum. It seems like I get more aluminum than anything else. So we'll get this in, and we'll just go from here to a pour, because that's totally hardened up again. Although it's hot. So this probably wasn't the ideal thing to do here, I'm seeing. So we're going to be pouring this one right here, and I think I was mistaken. I think that is actually a half ounce. So let's go now and see what we got here. Yeah, okay. Got a puddle. Now I'm going to put a little bit of borax in. That'll get the impurities off. Make this flow really easy. We hope. So I think that's probably going to be a remelt, just because it wasn't quite hot enough when I poured it. So yeah, as you can see, it's just like a partial button. You can see up here on top, and let's see, this is probably borax. Yeah, that's borax. I might have given too much borax too, but it didn't flow out real good in that button. So we'll do another melt on it, and I'll show you when I'm ready to pour. How's that? Okay, we're starting to puddle here. There we go, there's a nice puddle. Well, guys, I guess the old saying is practice makes perfect. So I haven't done this probably in probably 18 years. So as you can see, there is a button in there, but that is not a button, that's borax. That's a little spill, and that's the pour, and it's almost round. I think my mold was too cold, and that's the second melt. It came out, it looks good. It's got a few little wavy lines on top, but it's got borax all over it here. So we'll throw that in some water and see what it looks like in real life. So as I got this water, it came to me what I did different before. I had two torches. One was on the mold and one was doing the melt. So that would prevent all of this from happening. Well, I heated that water right up, and see that borax should peel right off. It's not doing it, but it should. Sure, I can hit it with a wire wheel, but it's not totally ugly. I mean, it's after I get the borax off it that's still on it, and it's not. I mean, I lost that whole side there, so I was too light on it, but it didn't flow, and that's the main problem I see with it. So I'm not going to do a third melt today. I need another torch head, and that's why I didn't have two torches, come to think of it. But so if you like this video, it's short and sweet, give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and I'll be back with more melts. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, this is part 2 of this video. The video is titled Old School Silver Pour versus Electric Foundry. So what we have here is the Electric Foundry up and running. And being fair to the torch melt, I haven't done that in 18 years. I didn't have the two torches. So there was a lot of things besides that even that weren't just right. So, it's a test for those who want to see how the silver melts, but it isn't really a good test to go against this Electric Foundry, where I can set that exact temperature of what I need, and when the silver gets there, you take it out, turn the torch on, this torch on, to make sure that this is hot and stays hot as you pour. And that's what we're going to be doing, and we're going to be doing it that way. I might have to change the setup here just a little bit, but that's the plan anyhow. So give me a little bit. We're at about 399, 400 degrees Celsius. I need, what do I need? 693, I believe. So, all right, give me a bit. I'll be back. Okay, I'm getting halfway close here, about halfway. We're at 507 Celsius. I'm at 979. There's my set point. And again, we will be safe. We're using the gloves and the crucible lift tool here. We're going to do something a little different than we did with the torch. I couldn't find this before, but I used to sell these little triangular aluminum plates, and we call them gold boats, and I sold them by the boatloads. and I was getting really good money for these, but if you want to get these and get them cheap, you go to a bead supply. The ladies put beads on to make jewelry. They're like 49 cents a piece, so you can get a whole bunch of them if you want. So this is how we're going to be pouring our silver into the foundry, and not picking them up one at a time like I did in the previous part of this video. Okay, we're at pour temperature according to the manual. Actually, a little bit past 962. I always set a little bit higher. I'm at 979. So we're going to put the silver in. This is the silver from the 2 failed pours, so that will be going into the foundry here in just a little bit. So when I'm ready, I will show you the whole thing happen. Okay, we're at my set point. So let me get a glove here. Probably just once. We need that to open the lid here. So we're opened on. You can see it glowing. So here's our silver. This is what we're going to pour in here. There we go. Really wanted to grab that, and I knew better. So we'll take a few minutes and see how we do here. That was actually about 35 minutes to get this up to temperature. And that's not too bad. You know, it's slower than the propane. It's slower than the torch, but you'll see a much more complete heating. And what's really nice is how quiet this is. I'm standing right by the foundry and it's not making any noise. So you will hear a noise when I fire up the torch to get this preheated when we're ready to go. So I'll be back. Alright guys, that's been about 8 minutes. So we're going to make this attempt. You know what, let me fire this puppy up first. So what appeared to have happened in that pour was the silver solidified on the side of the crucible and cooled off before I could get the entire amount of silver out of the crucible. So what I've done, I raised this 100 degrees above where I had my set point before, and see if that'll make the difference, and I'll try to pour it maybe just a little quicker. Okay, we're 100 degrees over. Let me get this torch fired off, and we will go ahead and do a second pour. Well, if I didn't rush it, this would have been a really good pour. I mean, it all poured out of the crucible, and it all looks good, except I rushed it, and I just did this cute little spill here. So, all right, that's it. That's a comparison. I guess I'm not as good with the electric as I was with the torch, or other way around. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, comment, and I will keep practicing until I get it right.